name's Jocelyn Benson, and I want to first thank you all for all the work you've done to help elect Democrats in years past. And we've got our work cut out for us this year, but make no doubt about it, we're going to win these elections this fall. Look at this energy in this room. How can it be without? I just want to say real quick, why the Secretary of State's office is so crucial for us to ensure that it's on the side of the people. I'm going to be your next Secretary of State, and I'm going to be a Secretary of State on your side. We're hurting right now in Michigan. We all know that times are tough, and that's why now more than ever we need to ensure we have leaders on our side, not listening to large corporations and special interests, but listening to you. And as your Secretary of State, my job will be to enforce campaign finance law, to get money out of the politics and keep out corruption, and to most importantly stand in the way of any corporation or large special interest that's trying to drown out your voice in the political process. That's all I've done. I became an attorney to enforce campaign finance law and enforce voting rights law, and my experience has prepared me to take on that fight day one. You know why? I'm going to tell you a quick story. In 2008, some of you might remember, there were rumors that if you were dealing with foreclosure, you might be blocked from voting. Now that's wrong. You cannot stop someone from exercising their fundamental right to vote because they're struggling financially. But when these stories emerged that people would be in the polls with lists of foreclosure homes and calling out anyone who came in on that list and challenging them and embarrassing them because they're dealing with foreclosure, trying to intimidate them out of voting, I stood up when I heard these and I said it's wrong. And I called Macomb County Clerk Carmela Sabah, and she and I worked together to get the message out. And I called someone else in Oakland County who happens to be my opponent. She didn't return my calls, and instead she told the press that it was perfectly legal and okay to be challenged because you're dealing with foreclosure. Wrong. We need to stop that mentality from being in our Secretary of State's office. I had to go to Congress and testify for a clarification in the law, making our Secretary of State ban people from the polling places with foreclosure lists. And I won that case, and I stood up then, and I will stand up as the Secretary of State and stop anyone from blocking the right to vote. And that's really the battle in the Secretary of State's office. We need a Secretary of State who's on your side, and I have the experience, background, qualifications, and know-how because I've been on your side. I've fought for you, and I will fight for you as your Secretary of State. We're going to eliminate lines in branch offices, too. We'll create appointments so you can make appointments ahead of time. We're going to work so that we have job openings posted at branch offices or information on how to start your own small business so that we can help people get back on their feet economically. We're going to work. I'm so proud that I will be working and so honored to be working with so many UAW members who work in the Secretary of State's office to work together. And you know, I'm committed to working with them as we work together to develop solutions to re-energize our economy during these difficult economic times. So I'm Jocelyn Michelle Benson. I'm here today to ask for your vote and your support because we're going to work together to do great things with the state and return our state to being a leader once again. We will have early voting in Michigan when I'm Secretary of State. I will work to push for no reason absentee voting. My opponents against those things. That's what we have to make sure we win this office, because we win this Secretary of State's office, we'll do great things, we'll stand up for people. But if we lose, it's just like handing the Secretary of State's office over to the Chamber of Commerce, over to someone who wouldn't stand up and fight for voters' rights, handing it over to someone who doesn't know how to cut costs because her budget's only increased since she's been in office as a clerk in Oakland County. We need to have someone in that office who will stand up and fight for you, and that's what I'm going to be, and that's what I will do. So please vote for us. Thank you for all of you who've been volunteering with us so far. We've got a great ticket, and I'm just going to say one more thing. We need to ensure that we have Alton Davis and Denise Langford Morris on that Supreme Court, because I'm not going to be able to get anything done without them. And when I'm Secretary of State, I'm going to enforce the election law and campaign finance law to protect your voice. But there's only one Attorney General who's going to be able to work with me. Only one who's going to take my calls. Only one who's going to stand up for you, just like I will be. And that's right here, David Layton. We must elect David Layton to be our next Attorney General. And I know we're going to be talking about the importance of electing Verge Bernero and Brenda Lawrence as well as they come in. But I just want to thank you all for all the support you've shown me. Let's get together. Let's work over these next 2 weeks and elect Democrats up and down the ticket. Thank you very much.